Hi guys, it's Jess from Honest Fiction and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be sharing my August TBR. Alright guys, so I made a lot of book commitments in August, so we're going to see if I can get all of these books read. I am part of a few different read-alongs. I'm also going to be doing a collab vlog at the end of the month, so I'm very excited about my August reading plans. So there is a mix of fantasy romance, a dark romance, contemporary romance, and I am so excited to talk about these books with you guys. Now, if you're unfamiliar with my channel, I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. You can also hit that notification bell to be notified whenever I post new bookish content. You can also check out my Instagram and Goodreads, both linked down below. With all that out of the way, let's talk about these books. Starting off with books I'll be reading for different read-alongs. First up, we have A Soul of Ash and Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So this is book 5 in the From Blood and Ash series, and unlike the other books in this series, this is told from Castiel's perspective. So we're actually looking back at all of the events that have already happened in From Blood and Ash, but instead of looking at it from Poppy's POV, it's going to be from Castiel's POV. So I am so excited to jump into this book, and I have to read it fairly quickly because the live show is taking place on Tori from Novellife's channel on August 7th, I believe, but I'll leave all the information down in the description below. So that live show is going to cover this new release, but it's also going to cover A Light in the Flame, which is the second book in the prequel series from Blood and Ash. So we missed that live show just because some people were sick and it just was bad timing. So it has been moved. So it's going to be a double live show for A Light in the Flame and then A Soul of Ash and Blood. So it should be really fun, and I hope you join us. And next up, I'll be reading the entire Flight and Glory series by Rebecca Yarros. So if that author sounds familiar to you, it is because it is the same author that wrote Fourth Wing, which is insanely popular right now. So I've never read anything else by Rebecca Yarros besides Fourth Wing, so I am so excited to check out her contemporary romances, and I've heard they are really good, really emotional, they're military romances, and I just cannot wait to start. Now, the live show is going to be taking place on August 25th on Monica from Pardon This Book Addict's channel. I will leave all the information down in the description below, but it should be really fun, and I hope you join us. Next up is a fantasy romance that I've been dying to read since it was first announced, and that is Anastasia by Sophie Lark. Now, I've owned this physical version since the book released. However, as you can see, it is super chunky, so I've been waiting for the audiobook to come available, and it has finally been released, and I'm so excited. So Anastasia was one of my favorite movies growing up. I still know all the words, all the songs, so I just absolutely love the story, and Sophie Lark is one of my favorite romance authors, so I'm so excited to see what she does with fantasy romance, and this should be really fun. So this will be one of the first books I read in August. Next up is North of the Stars by Monica James. So this is a Viking romance. I don't know very much about it. We're following this, I believe she's a princess, and she's in an arranged marriage, but then she ends up sleeping with a Viking, and things get really messy, and apparently it's very, very dark, but very good. So I'm very excited to read this. My friend Autumn from Nose in a Book, who I'll have linked down in the description below, is the one who recommended I pick this up. I was talking to her about The Last Kingdom, which is one of my favorite shows ever. If you have not watched it, you definitely should. It is so good. But anyway, I hope this gives me like Last Kingdom vibes, and I'm very excited to pick it up. And next up, we have That Sick Love by Jessie Hall. So I know very little about this. I just know that it is a super dark romance. The cover kind of gave me Heartless Heathen vibes, which is why I originally ordered it. But then I decided to kind of look into what the book was about. So I watched Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl's video. She did a vlog where she read a few different dark romances, this being one of them. So I'll leave that video linked down in the description below if you want to check it out. But she mentioned that this reminded her of a cross between Sam Mariano and Amo Jones, and that was really all I need to know. So I should enjoy this. I'm very excited to pick it up, and I will be reading this towards the end of August. And next up, I will be continuing the Perfectly Imperfect Mafia romance series. So I'm up to book 4, which is Ruined Scars. I'm pretty sure this is an age gap arranged marriage romance, and I'm just so excited to continue. I've been reading these as the audiobooks release, and I think the lowest I've given one of these books is 4 stars. This is slowly becoming my absolute favorite Mafia romance. I've also heard it described as soft Mafia romance, which I didn't realize was a thing. However, I think if you're starting out reading Mafia, I would definitely try out this series first just to kind of dip your toe in to see if you like it. But overall, I've been absolutely loving this series and highly, highly recommend. So this next book I actually tried reading a few years ago, and I ended up DNFing it. and it's Still Beating by Jennifer Hartmann. But I want to give this book another try. So I talked about this in another video. I picked this up when I was very new to dark romance, and it was just a little too dark for me. However, I think I would really enjoy it now. So if you're unfamiliar with the plot of Still Beating, we're following Cora, who ends up being abducted by a serial killer along with her sister's fiance, and they are held captive in a basement by the serial killer and forced to do horrible, heinous things. And then it goes from there. I really don't know where it goes from there because I DNF'd while they were still in the basement. But I think they end up having a bond, and then it kind of like turns into like a messy love story because he is her sister's fiance. Anyway, I'm very excited to try this out again. I think I'm going to do a vlog where I read books that I originally DNF'd to see if I like them more this time around. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that. But anyway, I definitely plan on reading this towards the end of the month. This next book is another new to me author, so it is Maestro by Auden. So another book I don't know very much about. We're following these, I believe they're children in the beginning, or 13-year-olds, and they become best friends living in New York City, and they both get into music, and then one of them becomes a cellist, and the other one becomes a maestro, and it's their love story. I think something must happen when they're adults that causes some sort of conflict, or else it would probably be pretty boring. But it sounds like it's gonna be really good. I've looked up reviews, and a lot of people have said this is super emotional, so I'm very excited to check it out. Next up is The Summer We Fell by Elizabeth O'Rourke. Now, this author is very hit or miss with me. However, I saw Jess from Peace Love Books talking about this book in a video, and it sounded like it was something I would really enjoy. So it is a love triangle romance. We are following this girl that leaves her very abusive upbringing and moves in with her boyfriend. However, her boyfriend's family is very religious, and they are very into like the classic gender roles, so she's forced to do a lot of cooking, cleaning, things like that. And then her boyfriend's friend moves in for the summer, and they have an instant connection, and it goes from there. So all of those things sound like things I would really enjoy reading, so I'm so excited to pick up The Summer We Fell. And last up, we have Home Game by Odette Snow. So, it is a hockey romance, and I am not a fan of hockey romances. I actually filmed an entire video of popular books I will never read, and I have hockey romances in general. However, I will be reading this as part of a collab, so that is why. I'm a little bit nervous. However, I've looked into what this book is about, and it does seem like something I would end up enjoying. So we're following this guy. He moves to a new town. He starts on a new hockey team, and he ends up, I think, asking one of the girls that's like very familiar with hockey for help, and she ends up being homeless. And then one night, after not being able to get her to the homeless shelter in time before they lock up, she ends up staying with him, and the romance goes from there. And it sounds like it's going to be really good, really emotional. Apparently it's very slow burn, so I am so excited to check it out. Hopefully I love it, and it kind of changes my mind on hockey romances. However, I'm still a little bit nervous. But anyway, that'll be the last book that I read in August. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Those are all the books I plan on reading in the month of August. Please let me know down in the comments below if you have read any of the books I mentioned. And I said this already, I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I will see you all next week.